Hello, you guys. This is how to run comps using Zillow. Um, of course, MLS Access is ideal for this, but when you're starting out, you may not have the luxury of having the MLS Access. So this is just a workaround of how you can run comps, so you can at least be in the ballpark, because that's what we're looking to do, to be in the ballpark. We're wholesalers. We're not taking title of this property. So we just got to, our numbers just got to be close. So this is a way to run your comps using Zillow. Um, let's get started. So I have pulled up a property already, and let me share that with you. It's right here. This is the address. So this property right now, on January 25th, 2021. This property is currently for sale. If you're listening to this later on, this property is probably already sold, so you are going to know what it sold for, what the outcome was, if we were right in our calculation. All right, so this is the property. If you want to follow with us, it's 1623 Liberty Valley in Decatur. Um, this property is for sale. So the first step before you even do anything, before you even start to comp, is to actually look at the property itself. And this information, uh, well, you're going to look at the property for the condition of the property. And this information will either come from photos, if you're lucky enough to get photos from uh, yourself or somebody boots on the ground, somebody you have in the area, if you're virtually wholesaling, or maybe even the owner, or the owner can give you the condition, or you do a drive-by, virtual drive-by, or whatever. But anyway, so you are going to need to know what the condition of the property is. This particular one, I'm going to call this a turnkey type property. It has been updated. It has been rehabbed before. May be a little lived in. Maybe an owner or two lived in it after the rehab. It's not necessarily a fresh rehab, I don't think. It is staged, as you can tell. Um, but it is a pretty nice property. It's what I like to call a Class A, and that actually I use this video when, oh, right here. I use this video from Investor Army to calculate repair costs, and that's where I get that from, Class A property. So is a typical Class A property. Um, so let's look through this property and look at the pictures. And notice that this property is in pretty good condition. Not necessarily what you're gonna get as a wholesaler, but it's a good example, because it's a good example. It's for sale right now, and we're able to see a few numbers. Anyway, so let's go back to the presentation here and see what we got first. So the pros of doing this, you're able to get a ballpark number of an ARV. It's never good to guess when you're running your numbers. I have done that before, been there, you guys. Wouldn't recommend it. I have offered too much, and then I have to go back and renegotiate. It's not fun to do that. So you at least have a way to ballpark your offer using Zillow to comp. All right, and as I mentioned before, there's no MLS access needed. If you're getting if you're getting started wholesaling, you may not have the resources uh, to have MLS access. MLS access does cost money, so you either partner up with a realtor who most 9 times out of 10 is going to charge you, or you get MLS access yourself by getting licensed. So this is something that you can use to before you get MLS access. It is ideal to get MLS access um, for you to be a little bit more in the ballpark, even though you're never going to be 100%. When it comes to running comps, it's not a science; it's an art. So I could send this subject property to 10 realtors, and they'll all come um, with a different ARV for that property. It's just the way it is. Comp running comps is not 100%. You just got to be, again, in the ballpark, you guys. And another thing is free. Zillow, as you know, is a free service. You have that information. You don't have to pay like you do with MLS. So that's great when you're starting wholesaling. All right, some of the cons, of course, Zillow is not 100% accurate, as we all know. And I'll be the first one to tell you, it's not. There's some information in there that you may want to check, and you want to make sure that it is accurate. I have seen square footage that's square footage that's inaccurate, and I've seen prices, sold price that's inaccurate. I mean, it is common. Zillow is not a it's not a tool. It's not designed for what we're actually using it for, which is to run comps. But it is a tool that you could actually use. And you just got to be careful of the information that you get from it. And it may be more time consuming. Zillow, again, it's not designed to be used like this, but it can be used like that. And what that means is that the MLS has more tools and more features than Zillow would have. So you actually have to do a workaround, do workarounds, and kind of compensate for the tools and features that you don't have. Warning: Zestimates are not accurate. All right, big red letters, and there's a reason for that. They're not accurate. Do not use the Zestimates as ARV. Please don't do that. All right. So Zestimate, if you're unfamiliar with how Zillow works, it is. Let me try to pull up one here. Zestimate is what Zillow thinks this property is worth. It's based on algorithm. They don't do what we do. This is estimate of this particular property, and I can tell that this particular property is listed, and it got listed based on this estimate that Zillow said it was worth. 9 times out of 10, this estimate is going to be wrong, and you should not be using that as a ARV. Now, I have seen wholesalers who do use that, and they go out of business really quick. So let's not use that, you guys. Let's do our due diligence and run our numbers like we should. All right, so estimates are not accurate. Do not use them. All right. Now, one instance I do use estimates is when I'm looking at Zillow for actual leads. A little trick for you guys. So whenever a for sale by owner, for example, posts the property on Zillow, um, Zillow runs the address, and it shows the owner what this estimate is on the property before they post it. So let's say, for example, 123 Main Street is worth 150,000, and owner A goes into Zillow, tries to post that property, but he or she tries to post that property for 75,000, for example. Zillow's gonna say, hey, hold on, are you sure you want to post this for 75,000? It is based on our records. It's worth 150,000. Are you sure? So if they still do, hit the dismiss on that warning that Zillow's gonna give them, hit the dismiss on that. That is, to me, that's motivation. That they are motivated to sell, and they just want to get rid of the property. Doesn't matter what Zillow says is worth. So that's one way to use estimates, and that's the only way in my book that you should be using estimates. All right. All right, so the first step is to search that property. So let's pull up Zillow here, and let me go here. All right, so we're gonna search the property. All right, so all you have to do is put in the address on there, and hit the magnifying glass. It will go ahead and search that property. And Zillow is actually gonna pull up the property itself. What we can do is we can close it for the time being. Let's wait until it loads. Okay, cool. And we can close that out. There we go. All right, so right here, what's going on? What's going on? No, I don't want this. Whatever you tell me, nope. All right, let's go back. Let's try it again. Let's close it out. And what we want is a map that looks a lot like this, right? That's what we're looking for. So let's try that again. Where are we? Right here. All right. Let's get that X. Once to get the X, we can go ahead and close it out and not hit anything else like I did. Okay, so that map is going to appear right here. Well, not exactly like the other one. So we're going to zoom in to get that map just like we had it. And the reason, that's actually step number one. We're going to zoom in, okay? Zoom in so we can get, and this, by the way, this is the same property that we are working with today. We're going to zoom in so we can see the features of this of the neighborhood the property is at. So we can tell this particular one is in a corner lot, and there's this little horn right here, or horseshoe, whatever you want to call it. All right. So we're going to take note of that mental note that that's where it's at. And there's a reason for that. So let's go next and see what we got to do next. All right, let's go back to Zillow. Where are we at? There we go. All right, so that's what we're looking for. And next, what we're going to do is we're going to open up the property, and we're going to write down. Let me go back to the presentation here. All right, we're going to write down the square footage, beds, baths, and the year built of the property. I would like to add a few things on there. You want to also write down if it's a 1-story, 2-story, and you want to write down if the property has a basement or a garage, and if so, how many car garage does it have, right? So we want to come up with the closest property possible. We are going to work our way out. So we're going to start tight. We're going to start as close as possible as we can with this property, and then work our way out. Right. So this particular one, let's go back to Zillow here. This particular one has it's a 3-3, right? 1282, 1,282 square feet. The year built will be down here somewhere. There you go. Year built will be under facts and features. 1976 is the year built. Now, apparently has an attached garage. I'm not gonna really 100% trust Zillow, but let's take a look. Yep, it looks like it does have a garage. And looking at the property, it's maybe a crawl space or part crawl space and part slab. And it's a 1-story, as you can see. So that's that. So that's really the information you're gonna note for the subject property. I mean, this is probably something that you already know from talking to the seller or whatnot. But those are things that we're gonna take notice of when we start this process. All right. So and we're gonna verify that information also with the property appraiser side if need be, if it doesn't sound accurate, or if some properties they may not have square footage, or they may not have beds and baths. Again, Zillow is not 100% accurate. So let's verify with the property appraiser site. And that is even not going to be 100% updated, because if something got sold yesterday, it won't update right away. It will probably take about 30 days. Same thing with Zillow. So, but it's what we got when we're starting. So that's what we're going to use. All right, and then we're gonna take mental note on where the property is located. What I mean by that is, we kind of already did that. We know that there's a corner lot and there's this little horn right here. Go back to Zillow here, and okay, so we have that corner lot, and like I said, that little horn, and we're gonna zoom out a little bit so we know what the neighborhood kind of looks like. And this step is actually getting us ready for the next step, which let me share that with you right now. 1 minute. The next step, this process is to study the neighborhood, right? So you're going to study the neighborhood. This is the same thing, guys. So let's just look at it here. So that neighborhood, we can tell that there's some major highways running across through, and then there's some somewhat bigger streets. So what we want to do is um, is take note of where that is. Give me a second, you guys. I don't want my headset to die on you guys. Anyways, so we're gonna take note of where those are. All right, and let me go back to Zillow, take a better look at that, so we can zoom in and out. There we go. And there's this boundary right here, which I think is a zip code. So we definitely don't want to cross this boundary when we're running comps. If you remember, our house is actually right here, and there's a major highway right here. If you are from the Atlanta area or Georgia, you know that 285 is a major highway. It's actually interstate that goes around Atlanta, and it's called the perimeter. So anything inside the perimeter is considered Atlanta. Anything outside is considered at the outskirts of Atlanta. So we definitely don't want to go across that interstate to run comps. And this other interstate right here, we don't want to cross that either. Actually, we don't want to go across anything yellow really, and try to not go across anything too thick either. Right. So these bigger streets right here, um, they may be 2, 3 lane highways, so we don't want to go across that either. We want to kind of stay in the same neighborhood. Like I said, we're gonna stay tight and we're gonna work our way out um, in the neighborhood, right? So let's go back to the presentation here and see what our next step is. 1 second. All right, so we're gonna take note, like I said, take note of where the highways, major highways are, the railroad tracks, lakes. Lakes are big because any property that's on a lake or around a lake or next to a lake or behind a lake, it's going to be considered waterfront. So that's going to affect the price or the value of the property. We don't want to put that against our property, which is not waterfront. So we definitely don't want that. Even if the property is across the street from a lake, it's actually considered waterfront. So we don't want to use those as comps. So you can see there's a little bit of a lake here, and this I guess this is a stream that runs through. It may be a river, but still we wanna be mindful of any property that backs into that or is across from that. Anyways, we have that. Also, the railroad tracks are big. Anything across the railroad tracks, there's a saying. There's a saying that says on the other side of the railroad tracks, right? You know, he's from the other side of the railroad tracks or whatever that saying goes, however that saying goes. And that is true. Across the railroad tracks is another story. So we definitely don't want to cross any railroad tracks, and we don't want to be around any lakes if our property is not lakefront. Now, and vice versa, if our property is lakefront, we want to comp only with lakefront property. All right, and preferably around that same lake, right? If it's lakefront. So that's a little tidbit right there. Anyway, so all right, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna box in the area. So I already know mentally I have already boxed in this area that I'm not gonna cross. Definitely not gonna cross any major highways, anything yellow, and I'm gonna try not to cross anything thick white. All right, so I'm gonna try very hard not to cross this, but I'm definitely not gonna cross these right here. All right, so when we're running comps, so that's that. And let's see what our next step is. We're gonna switch to the view to sold, right? So let's go back to Zillow and take care of that. There we go. All right, so let me remove this boundary so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. All right, so we mapped out this area. We boxed in the area of this right here, this right here. So that's a little rectangle right there. And what we're going to do, we're going to change this from for sale to sold, right? All right, so we have a lot of activity in the area, which is great. However, it may not be all comps, so we have to be cognizant of that. So the first thing we're gonna do, we are going to well, let's do the days first. We are going to look at the days sold, last days sold. This is very important right here. I had to set up for 6 months, but anyways, the days sold. I know Zillow is not gonna really have any information about properties that sold in the last day to 14 days. It may have some information on properties that sold in the last 30 days. So we're gonna stay 30 days to 6 months. I am a little hesitant to go to a year, especially with what's been going on in the world and how it has affected the housing market. So, and that's another thing. If anything major happened in a certain time frame, you don't want to go past that time frame. Whoops, that was a mistake. Sorry. I definitely don't want to go 24 months. All right. So, for example, if it was 2008 and the market had just crashed, we don't want to comp with anything that happened in 2007, for example. So we definitely want to stay in a certain time frame. So, but for now, let's start at 30 days, and then again, we're gonna start tight. We're gonna work our way out if we have to, right? And then wherever we get to find that comp, that's where we're gonna stop. Anyway, so that's the first thing. Another thing that I like to do is we're using comps. We're running comps on a single family home. I like to take out anything that's not a single family home. So we're gonna take out manufacturer, multifamily, apartments, lots, townhomes, all that stuff. We're gonna take all that stuff out. All right. And another thing I like to do is the bedrooms and bathrooms. So we know that our property has 3 bedrooms and 3 baths. So we're going to start with 3 bedrooms. Now, this 3 baths is kind of rare. Not a lot of properties have 3 bedrooms and 3 baths. If anything, they have three, two. So I'm just going to stick with three, two. It may be close enough. I mean, the property if it had enough square footage to fit a third bedroom, any property that we find will probably have enough square footage to fit a third bedroom, anyways. All right, so third bathroom. I'm sorry. Anyway, so our subject property, I can see the horn right here that I'm looking for. That little horn right there. We don't have a lot near in this neighborhood that's sold in the last 30 days. We do have something here. It may not be crossing a major highway, and actually it may be on a major highway. Let me see. Oh no, it's not good. So let's take a look at that one and see what it looks like. Um, and again, we're gonna start tight. We're gonna work our way out as much as well, I wouldn't say as much as possible, but as much as we need to. All right, so this is a 2-story home, so this is out. We can't use this. So let's um let's go back here. It looks like, guys, we're gonna have to go through. oh, Where was I? Okay, that's our horn right there. All right, so it looks like we're gonna have to go to. Uh, well, I could cross over, but I don't want to. So I want to stay in the area as much as I can. Let's look at this one. Our subject property is 1282, and this one sold for 270 at 1285. Let's take a look at this one. And it's a 3-2. So if this one is, I mean, I can't see too much as far as the property. That's another thing. It may not have pictures. Um, that actually, I'm gonna put a pin on that one. That one is not too bad. I couldn't see too much of pictures, but anyway. So let's go to 90 days. And guys, as you can see, this process, it's taking me a while. Reason being because I don't have the features that the MLS would have. So it's taking me a little while to kind of figure it out. But I mean, it's what you have. It's again, you're not spending time, you're spending money. If you're not spending money, you're spending time. So you're spending time right now putting this together. So I see one. Here's a horn. I see one that's just down the street, and the square footage is not too bad. We are trying to not go over 20% of the square footage. That's the rule of thumb. So 20%, if you guys, if I can do the quick calculation here, 20% of this will be about 250. So that will put me around 1,500 square feet. Let's do this. Let's narrow that down a little bit. I don't want to see anything over 1,500 square feet and anything 250 square feet less than my subject property, which will put me somewhere around 1,100. I only have 1,000, so let's work with that. And let's go back to our search here. All right, so we have a little bit narrowed down properties. So let me look at these $100,000 properties. I suspect that these are not going to be updated based on what I've seen already in this neighborhood. Thinking that our property is probably going to be in the 200s for sure. Um, let's take a look at this one on 195. This actually may be a little updated, but not quite. Maybe rental grade. But let's take a look. Or I should say builder's grade. And it's a brick home, so I wouldn't use it anyways. But yeah, it's not really. It is updated. Well, I wouldn't say it's updated, but it is fixed. It's rehab, but it's not 100% updated like our subject property is. So that's what we're looking for, and it's also a brick home, which I wouldn't use it anyways. So let's look at this one at 150. If this last one at 150 is not really updated, like our subject property, I'm just going to go ahead and eliminate anything under 200,000. So yeah, see, it looks like this hasn't been updated since 1970 for sure. So, well, at least 1980 or 90, actually 90 probably. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and eliminate anything that's under 200,000 because our property or subject property, um, the value based on what I've seen here, the value is going to be over 200,000. Um, all right, so that eliminates a lot of them for us. So we've seen this one. Let's take a look at these. These are kind of in another neighborhood, but they will work. They're the closest ones that, our horn is right here. These are the closest ones right here. So let's take a look at this next one. Another thing that I'm taking notice is if these houses have garages, which I am suspecting that in this age, in this home, these garages are gonna be kind of like a unicorn. So I'm thinking that this garage on this particular property was added later. Uh, Actually, because it didn't load, let's hit this button. Must have garage. I'm sure that this is gonna eliminate most of my comps. And that one for 270 is still there, which I have put a pin on. So we know that that one has a garage, and it's about the same square footage of ours. So that's a good comp so far. So let's get rid of that and get some garages going. And uh, I'm sorry, let's get rid of the garages and we're gonna comp with without houses without garage, and then have to compensate later for garages. All right, so let's go into this property here, and this was sold for 220. It's in the same ballpark of our property, but it looks like it's brick. It is updated, but it looks like it's brick. It's not 100% updated, but it's in better, somewhat good condition. I mean, it's in good condition, and it's been rehab for sure, but it's not in that type of grade that our property is, our subject property is. Um, let's take a look at this last one right here, and that's as much as I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you guys the next step because I don't want to take too much of your time. This one looks like it's been updated. It's definitely a frame home. It's definitely been updated. So, and it's looks like it's about the same grade as our property. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's probably a good comp right here. So we have two so far. Let's see if we can find another one. So we have this one. I'm gonna end up using that one. We have this one. We have that one. Let's take a look at this one at 252. Okay, so we have no garage, but we have a one-story home, which is a frame home, and is somewhat updated. I mean, it's definitely rehab, but it's not updated to where I want it to be. It's not where a home is, so let's put a pin on that one too. So anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and move on and actually uh, run the numbers. So basically, if you guys get the idea, you are looking around the closest physically closest homes in the area where your home is, which in the particular example is this horn right here. So we're looking at the closest properties around there and working our way out, right? And also we are working our way out as far as square footage and working our way out as far as the age of the home, or may it be a garage or no garage. And we're working our way out, and we actually may work our way into some brick homes maybe if we don't have anything else to comp with. um, we're just starting tight and working our way out. So I'm thinking so far that 245 and then this one at 270 is probably the best. Let's just do one for this for the sake of our, this is actually in the low end of our square footage, but it'll probably work. It doesn't have a garage. It looks like it probably did have a garage and was converted. And I can't tell if it's been updated because there's no pictures. But based on this, we are going to be around the ballpark of about what Zillow says it was about 250, 260. Again, it's not a exact science, but it is an art, right? So let's our next step. Let's say, for example, we are going to be using these three properties right here just for the sake of the video. Um, what we're going to do, and I have this wholesaling calculator that you can get. The link is below. You can get this calculator completely for free. It does a calculation for you. I'll show you the formula that I use in this calculator. But this guy, let me delete this. This is from a previous property. Anyway, so this this particular calculator, it does the calculation for the formula that I'm looking for you to. I'm gonna teach you how to do. Actually, I think I may have. Hold on one second. Let's go back to the presentation here and switch the view to sold. So we did this under our sold. So we did that the days. We looked through the sold properties. We're gonna find at least three. Okay, at least three properties. So for the sake of the video, we're just gonna use those three that we talked about, and those are your comps, right? And what we're gonna do on those for those three, we're gonna write down the square footage for the three and the price that those properties sold for. So what I want to do, let's go back. Let's go back to Zillow here. All right, so this particular property is sold for 217, and I'm running these down 217, and the square footage is 1392. Is within the range we want to be. I know it's brick, but it's just an example, you guys. 220. This one sold for 220. And 1309 again in the ballpark where we want to be. And then this one sold for 245. This is actually an actual comp. 245 and at 1400 square feet. All right, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you how to do this calculation on your own, but for this example, we're gonna use, whoops, I didn't mean to close that. One second, let me open this back up. Give me a second, you guys. I'm gonna pause the video real quick and find that property, or rather, I'm sorry, and find that calculator. Give me a second. Uh, all right, so we're back. All right, so this is the calculator. All right, so the calculation this calculator is gonna do, I'm gonna show you in a minute. But what we're doing here is we are entering, like I said, the square footage of comp number one, which is 1392, and then this price sold was 217. And then comp number two, whoops, not 17, not 2 million. All right, be careful with those extra zeros. Here we go. And then the second was 220. 1309. Oh wait, I flipped those, didn't I? 1309. Oops. 09. Sorry guys, it's kind of late. I'm working on fumes here, so give me a second. 220. Bear with me. 1, 2, 3. There you go. All right, and the third one sold for is 1,400 square feet and 245. See? You guys see the time, right? Again, working on fumes here. I apologize. All right, cool. So what we're looking for, it's a price per square foot, and I'll show you how to calculate that price per square foot, and then we're looking for an average, right? And then what we're looking for, we're gonna put in on this calculator is the square footage of our subject property. Now, if those three were actual comps of our subject property, then the value for our subject property will be somewhere around 213,000. So what we're gonna do is let's go back. Let me go back to the presentation to show you um, the actual calculation. Okay, so the calculation is so comp number one. Comp number one, you will take the comp number one sold price, and you would divide it by the square footage, which is what we did. What the calculator did, which is hold on one second. What we did here, right? So that's comp number one, and it came up to 155.89, right? And then comp number two, you will do the same thing, and then that's what we came up with, 168. The calculator does the same calculation, right? 168, and then number comp number three, we do the same thing, and what it does, it gives you. We're gonna add that. We're gonna add the result of all of those. So you take that. Go away. All right. So you take 155 plus 168 plus 175. You add that up. All right, that's your result right here. Right. So that result, you divide it into the number of comps. 1, 2, 3, 3 comps. So we take that result, whatever it is, and we divide it into the number of comps. It's gonna give you where is it? Where you go? Okay, it's gonna give you the average square footage, right? So the average square footage. All right, then we take the average square footage, which in this case will be 166.32, the average square footage of these properties. 166.32, and let me take out my ugly mug out of here. Hold on. Sorry. All right. So our calculator already does it to where you enter the square footage of your subject property, and then we times it by the square footage, and it gives you the ARV, right? So we take the average we take the average square footage, we times it by the subject property square footage, and it gives you the ARV. There we go. So that's exactly what this calculator did. It it took the average square footage and times it by the subject property square footage, and it gave us the ARV for this property. Now these numbers are not correct because I didn't actually look at comps, but just use these as an example, just to give you an idea. So anyway, so we we're using our wholesaling calculator. The link is below, you guys. If you want to get this for free, I you will just have to join our mailing list, which we give you a lot of resources and tools that you can use in your wholesaling career, especially if you're new. We have a lot of tips and tricks that you can use if you're starting wholesaling and you may not have all the resources. Um, that's why we call off market ninja, because we use the ninja tricks in order to get to accomplish the things that other wholesalers can with more money. So anyway, so that's the calculation right here. I'm gonna leave it up there for a little bit if you guys want to copy it. But that's the calculation. Comp one, sold price divided into the square footage of comp one, and then comp two, sold price divided into square footage of comp three, and then so on and so forth. Then you get a result. You add that up, you get the result, and the result divided into the number of comps, 1, 2, 3. If you have four, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it actually will get a better average if you have four. If you have five, and so on and so forth. Anyways, so but I'd say at least three. All right, then the average square footage, you times that by the subject property square footage, it gives you the ARV. That's your formula to get the ARV after you find your comps. And the last thing, you guys, is we run a group on Facebook. It's called Real Estate Wholesalers, Wholesaling Real Estate, where we have all kinds of discussions going on, whether it's deals, new deals, or whether it's people that are looking uh, for mentors or people that are asking regular questions about real estate wholesaling. I go in there all the time. I answer questions in there all the time. So go ahead and join our group. The link is below. Also subscribe to our channel. That we we put out content constantly. We're gonna start putting videos out every week. So definitely subscribe to this channel, and so you can get more trainings like this and more content. We usually do live videos, and we do watch parties if you miss the live video. So we have a lot of a lot of cool stuff coming at. And also get our free wholesaling calculator, which is that calculator that I was just showing you, which is not just for ARV. It calculates your MAO, your maximum allowable offer. It calculates your cap rate, your net operating income, cash and cash returns, all that. Um, this is something that I have used in my wholesaling career myself, and something that I put together. Um, and it's just a better tool to help you uh, wholesale better to to have you so you have the numbers before you going out there. Also, guys, join our mailing list. Like I said, we put out a lot of cool content, and we have a lot of cool things coming up. So make sure you join our mailing list. The link is below, you guys. Um, if you do join our mailing list, you do get the wholesaling calculator. Anyways, I'll send you that anyways. And whenever I come up with something new, or we'll come up with something new, we'll send it to you. Anyway, so that's that. If you have any questions, let us know. And that's all I have. Uh, oh, thank you. This was supposed to be a webinar, so yeah, questions, yeah, just definitely let us know. Let us know in the comments. I'll go ahead and answer them as much as I can. Reach out to me in the group. My name is Jonathan from Off Market Ninja. Um, any questions you may have, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them for you. I'm always online on the Facebook group answering questions. Thank you. Have a good day, guys. Good luck.